Hi everyone, it is Mickey here from A Pretty Talent and the Waterwell Ministries. And today I intend to journal this page that I've prepared a long time ago already in my Bible. And so the idea here, I'm just using this Bible to prop up this Bible. It's a little easier when you do that. So sorry, apologies, I'm drinking coffee again. I've just returned from school, where I've been talking all day. And so I'm a little hoarse from all that talking. By the way, what do you call someone who's a little hoarse? A pony. I had to do that. I just had to. Okay. Anyways, this is the Song of Deborah. In the book of Judges chapter 5, Deborah, the only female judge, and after the victory was achieved for Israel by another woman, so she sang this song. I'm not actually... the woman who achieved the victory was Jael, and Jael, I don't know if you say it like that, Jael. And she defeated the enemy by driving a tent pin through the opposing king's head. It's a rather grisly story, actually. Anyways, Deborah goes on to sing the Lord's praises about him saving Israel from the enemies. And I've been busy with this page on and off for a while. So let me tell you the process. I started off by just putting down the golden, we just call it washi tape, but honestly washi tape is a paper tape, and this is not a paper tape. So for lack of a better word, this fabric tape, it's not quite fabric either. Okay, call it washi tape, why not? So I started with that. That was part of a lesson, a workshop that I've done, just to sort of show the variations in tape and how they can combine to make actually a very nice little backdrop focal point in the margins. And then afterwards I received these, I bought these stickers, and these are just literally stickers. And I thought they're all in this yellowish color scheme. So they're all female figures, and they work well here on this page. And so that became part of my journaling process. And then I got, this is a stamp and die cut combination. So I ordered this, and it arrived here, and I thought I like this because that whole thing of a tent pin, and this woman looks like a camper, and so I thought I'm gonna use her here. Now, honestly, it should be on this page, but this page is a little full. That's where Jael's story is told. But this is still part of Jael's story, and Jael's story is recounted in the song. Most blessed among women is Jael. I mean, so I figured it's close enough. So I put her here. Now, she was stamped and cut out with the die, and then I colored her, and I actually used the alcohol markers to color her with, to color her in. And that's her story. Now, I want to continue with my journaling here. And so what I'm doing is, or what I've done so far, is I have painted the open spaces. Not, there I went over the words. It's only ever so slightly. So you can still see the word pierced his temple. This is the story. Then with her left hand she reached for a tent peg, and with her right hand for the workman's hammer. She struck Sisera with a hammer, crushing his head. With a shattering blow she pierced his temples. He sank, he fell, he lay still at her feet, and where he sank there he died. That's the crux of the story, but I actually kind of painted over the words there. But as you can see, I can still read it. Now, this is not intentional because the gesso is not transparent. But fortunately, it was faint enough that you can still read through it. Yeah, there are odd places where I've gone over it, but I think I've kind of wiped it off, and that's why you can see through it. But I want to use my alcohol markers here, and alcohol markers bleed like crazy, so I cannot use them in my Bible unless I've got a good surface preparation, gesso at the surface. Now you do get a transparent surface. You do get a transparent gesso. I've not used the transparent gesso because I'm not actually working over the text. I'm going to work next to the text. And so therefore I just simply used a white gesso here. Then I went and I printed these little heads or shoulder shots or whatever they are of other people's artwork. This is very cute. I don't know who did this. I wish I did and I could give them credit. But it's very cute and it's only for my use. So I printed this, and I print them on the size 9 to a page, an A4 page. And I fussy cut around the head. And then I simply decoupaged the head onto the paper. And of course, it is now completely dry. I didn't show you that process because it's a tedious one where you paint the gesso, wait for it to dry, decoupage the head on and wait for it to dry. And only once everything is completely dry can you work with it. Now I do sometimes prepare pages like that. Here's another prepared page that I want to continue working on with the little tree there. I've got a couple marked off like that. Where are some more? Okay, this is actually done. But this is exactly what I want to do today. So this is not a bad idea that I get to this page. So this is the idea. The pre-designed heads. And then I'm going to design something else in the alcohol markers. Here's another one that I want to continue working on. I'm not satisfied that I'm done there. Do I see something else sticking out here now? Okay, so those are some of the things, and I know there are more of these. They've probably just slipped into the Bible. Okay, so those are some of the ones that I want to do. Now, the gesso is to save this page. I am going to put this laminated sheet, old laminated sheet here at the back, so that if I were to work over the edges, I don't affect, let's say my page moves like that. I don't go onto that page. So this is a protection for the page at the back of this page. Now, honestly, enough talk. As I said, I'm using the alcohol markers, and I will talk you through my choices. I'm going to start with a black one. It's the 120 is the number. I'm looking for this black line. That's what they call a fine point, what I call a bullet point. This one that doesn't have the black line, that is the chisel point. So that even if you don't look at the pictures there, and your markers lying like this, you can still see the bullet point, the chisel point, easy enough to differentiate between the two. Right, so I'm using the bullet point. Now, what do I want to do? Her shoulders are going to come out here. And we're not doing fine art here. We're doing a really easy sketch. I'm going to let her come in like that. I'll decide now what I want to do. Maybe do a little something like that. And those girls, I'm kind of looking at those girls, taking my cues from them. And I'm going to put her in pants. They're going to be these sort of ankle length pants. I don't know, something like that. Okay. Her legs are going to continue. I doubt I don't see the feet on this page. So that has to be part of that. Pants can have pockets, why not? Can have a zipper. Something like that. I guess I could have done that better. And what shall we do here? Let's give it a bit of an exaggerated sleeve, shall we? And she can sort of stand like that. And let her hide. Let her be Jael, hiding the tent pin behind her body. I like that. That looks a little sneaky. I like that. Because Jael waited for what was the king's name? Oh dear, I can't remember. In any case, she waited for the king to go to sleep, and then she Sisera. She waited for Sisera to fall asleep. And then she killed him. Okay, so this line is going to run through here. That'll do. Okay, now there are going to be buttons here, so maybe I should start planning for those. Okay, so that's our black. Now, what do we want to do here? We are going to kind of go with the color scheme that's been started for us. And I am actually going to start with lemon yellow. It's number 35. I'm going to use the chisel. No, I'm not going to use the chisel point. I'm second guessing myself, and I think it's a good thing. I'm going to just make dots. Oh dear, it picks up the black. It will do that. I'm going to make dots all over. As if that is the pattern on this fabric. Because I like patterns, and I think fabric lends itself to showing patterns. Where it picks up the black, I'm not going to fuss. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So I put my pens aside that I'm using. I don't put them away because I might very well come back to them. I am going to come in with this color. This is vermilion. No, not the chisel point. It's too broad. Yeah, vermilion is very orange. I'm going to go with it anyway. And I'll show you what I'll do now. There's an orange in there. So I'm happy with the vermilion for the moment. I'm not going to leave it at that. It's a very orangey pink. There it picks up the black again, drags it along, that's fine. Alcoholmolkers will do that. They will activate each other, drag each other with, they will blend with each other. That's how they are developed. They will do that. And I'm going to move slightly into this little collar thing that I've got going there. This very wintry collar on a very summery top. I haven't done the sleeves yet, have I? Okay, I've just remembered I need to keep checking, my apologies for this, that I'm still recording because I forgot to put the phone on flight mode again. Oh my goodness, I keep forgetting that. I can't remember that. Anyways. Okay, now I'm going to come in now. This is too light. It's too slight. It's not going to do it. This one, let me test this before I tell you which one I'm using. Yes, this one will work. So this is Cherry Pink number 5. And I am bringing my orange back to a pinkish color. With this one. Now can you see that I'm not too bothered that my circles are not complete circles either. If I wanted to, I could go back and do that. I don't want to. Okay, now I'm just bringing this color in. This will be the color that we use. And that's how you combine them, how you turn them into the same garment. I like how this kind of looks more like leopard spots than circles. If you want them to be circles, make them circles. Yep, that'll work. Okay, now I am looking for, I think, shall I go, no, let me not. Let me go with a, let me actually return to this vermilion color. Here on the pants. I'm going to put the vermilion in the pocket. And then I'm going to come in with the yellow, I think. Yes. I'm going to turn that one just a little bit down. And I'm just using the chisel point because now there's no lines that I need to avoid. It's nice wide open spaces that I'm coloring. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So That was again my number 35 lemon yellow. Which one shall I use for the skin tone? I think I'm going to try this 26 Pastel Peach. It's very pale, isn't it? Too pale. It's okay. It's not too shabby for an initial layer. But that's a little bit more pinkish. So let's go with number 7, Cosmos. Maybe. Not quite so exaggerated. And then I'm going to come back with this one and blend it a bit. So I'm back to my Pastel Peach, and I'm blending that Cosmos, which is too pink. Okay, that's not a bad flesh color. I can go into the head there, but I'm close enough for my liking. Okay, now I need to decide, what do I want to do with my buttons? What do we do with the buttons? Let's think. Let's make them old red. That's not prominent enough. Not nearly prominent enough. So we're going to take a black fine liner. This is just a black pen, and I'm just circling them. Now, buttons are not buttons unless they've got holes. We expect to see holes in them, so we put the holes there. Okay, right, that'll do it for us there. Now we've got to decide what kind of colors do we want to use in the background. And I don't want to go completely away from what we've got going on that side. So I am going to use yellow ochre, number 101. And what does yellow ochre look like? That. Okay. I'm going to bring the yellow ochre in here. And I'm going to put the yellow ochre here. And I'm not doing anything careful here. This is actually a very quick process. I'm going to come in here with the yellow ochre as well. And slightly. I'm kind of thinking I need to be very careful here because this can bleed through. I've already done a lot of bleed through, but that's okay. Not too bad. There's a little bit more. Okay. So that's my yellow ochre. Now I'm going to come in with brown gray. Or do I want to go brighter? I'm not sure. No, I like the brown gray. I'm kind of going to pick up where my yellow ochre left off, and I'm going to blend into it a bit. And I am bringing it all the way up here. I'm trying to be careful about where I've put the gesso, and I'm trying my best to kind of stick them my best. Well, I'm making an attempt to kind of stick to where the gesso is only. That's not a brilliant attempt. I'm going to do a little bit of yellow ochre over here. Bring it in here. No, brown grey, sorry. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to come in with the third color. Which one do I want to use? Olive green. This might be the wrong color. Let's see. No, it's a good color. Again, I'm starting in the yellow ochre, blending into it, coming in over her head. Okay, I like that. This was number 41, olive green. Number 104, brown grey. And number 101, yellow ochre. So those are my three background colors. And the variation is important. It kind of works better with the variation. Now there's a couple of things I can see that I would like to do differently. I would like to do an outline here, as if it's more part of my initial drawing. I'm going to accentuate her necklace a bit. Yeah, that just looks more like it's all part of the same original drawing. Just combining stuff a bit. Okay, I think, honestly, I think these are still a bit iffy. No, that's better. There were a couple of lines that I thought needed to be redefined. This one was one of them. This one was one of them. This one was one of them, and we might as well do this one as well. Okay, the rest I'm not too concerned with. Okay, just a couple of lines that I thought they got lost a little bit, so bringing them back in. Okay, now can you see that this is starting to become more of a whole, more of a unity. Now I like to bring in a simple washi tape like this one, and I like this one especially because it's going to tie in with the yellows and golds on that side. And I'm not doing something intricate. I'm tearing off a piece and I'm just plonking it down wherever I like, actually. I'm going to put this right on her leg. Then I'm going to take another strip and I'm going to just plonk it down somewhere there. Do I need a third one? I don't think so. I'm going to leave it at that. Now I'm going to start creating doodles. And let's do simple crosses. And what I do in one place, I have to repeat in another. If there's no repetition, this doesn't combine well. Why are my crosses so skewed today? I don't know. Doesn't actually matter. Okay, so a couple of crosses. Let's make use of this bullet point. The bullet point is fantastic. So what do? We come in with a couple of lines. Nice thick bullet point lines. Let's do them in the opposite direction. Over here. What else shall we do? Let's go to a white pen. Now I've got 2 white markers. These are my 2 go-to white markers. This is a white permanent marker. It's actually like a paint marker. And this one is more like a gel pen. I'm going to go with a paint marker. And I'm going to put some random dots over here. And then I'm going to put some random dots on the opposite side. What else do I want to do? Let's do just a hash or 2 and a hash. And honestly, I think that's actually enough. And that's as easy as this process is. Don't overthink your figure. It's supposed to be simplistic, childish, not perfect, not even in proportion. It's none of those things, none of those rules apply. A little bit of balance and everything pulls together. And that's the crux of this one. I hope you enjoyed it. This was a quick, nice little one to just come home from school and do a bit of relaxation with. Cheers, guys. See you next time.